Here's that snow we're supposed to be getting. But yeah, it's too wet. It's too warm. It's not accumulating. So today I have been back and forth between my bed and the couch. My couch is equally as comfortable as my bed. It's just I have not been feeling good last few days, and now it's my muscles and my joints, and I'm just in a flare. And I think my battling with I'm too hot, I'm too cold is the menopause. We've been having our weather has been like in the 50s to low 60s, and that's typical for this time of the year for Kentucky. But now we're supposed to be getting like snow. We don't get snow. But when we do, we're due for it. We get a really bad snowstorm every 3 years. We're due for one. But it's not uncommon for us to have weather in the 50s, low 60s during December, January, February, March, and then had a really, really cold spell right before spring is actually here. So that could be also playing a big part on why my muscles, my joints, and all that is bothering me, other than the fact I'm still in a flare. So I have already done this vlog, but what was funny is I did not realize how low the battery was on my camera, and so when I went to take it off the tripod and to look at it, there was a blank screen. Yeah, and my camera wasn't working. So there was the beginning of the vlog, and that was it. So anyway, I have a Facebook page that I began actually in 2013, but when I realized that people weren't finding my page is because I set it up wrong, and so it actually shows that it was opened up on 2014, but that was actually when I figured out how to do it, how to get it right. And I have my Crohn, I have my Facebook page in the credits in the description, and I have gained a lot of traffic to my Facebook page for Crohn's. It says Crohn's, the invisible disease, and I have renamed everything to Girl Without Guts, so everything is all surrounded and it's easier to find, and everything is branded with the same name. And with that, people that are on my Crohn's page on Facebook are also finding me on YouTube. And I've had a lot of good questions. They want a lot of advice. And when I do my vlogs, I try to put them on a topic sometimes. Sometimes I'll just pick the camera up throughout the day. But I had one person who, it's like some people having tummy issues, and the doctors they went to see are saying, well, you just need to lose weight. And so she's going to go have a colonoscopy to confirm her diagnosis of Crohn's disease. And so I didn't really know how to, I didn't post it because everything that goes to my Crohn's site, I've got it set up to where I have to approve the comment to go on the Facebook site, you know, in the comments and everything. And that one, I don't know if it got approved or not. I don't know if I approved that one. There was a couple I didn't. And, you know, it's not just I have tummy issues with Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is a very, very nasty, ugly disease. I've had it my whole life. And, you know, I had GIs. And when I started having problems, you know, we're talking early 80s, and Crohn's disease just wasn't something that was talked about. I mean, it has just recently made television. So, I mean, I am the queen of upper GIs. And back then, let me tell you something. The barium that they make you drink, back then, tastes like chalk. The crap they give us now, I do good to hold it down without vomiting. But anyway, there is a lot more to Crohn's disease than just your tummy hurting. There's nausea, there's severe diarrhea, but with Crohn's you can have constipation. It's not as common as diarrhea, and with the diarrhea, a lot of times the diarrhea can deplete you of your vitamins, your minerals, malnutrition, malabsorption, and it can lead you in the hospital. And you know, no matter what they do, they can pump you and pump you, pump you full of all this stuff, but the results still come the same. You know, you're still low, or, you know, they might back off, and then all of a sudden the next day they do blood work and you're right back where you started. You know, I've been there, and I've been through all the magnesium, I've been through all the, you know, potassium, all of that, and I don't really understand why anybody would want to have Crohn's disease unless they are trying to get attention. And this girl had said that she was having tummy trouble, and her doctors just said she needed to lose weight. She's a young girl. I checked out her profile, and she is a member on my Facebook page. But she went to 3 doctors, and obviously, and this is what I told her. I said, you know, you've been to 3, you know, general practitioners, and if they seriously thought you needed to see a GI, they would have, you know, referred you to one. I've never had a general practitioner, as I became an adult, never dismiss any of my issues. They just kept misdiagnosing me, and I never really had a GI when I became an adult until when was it? It's been within the last 10, 15 years. But they never dismissed it. I just kept getting misdiagnosed. As a kid, I always had these problems. I was one that just, you know, could eat, and not very long after that, would have diarrhea. I'd go back and forth between diarrhea, constipation. the stomach, tummy trouble was more than tummy trouble. It was just flat out miserable. Going to school, having to go to the office, have to call my mom to come get me. There's just, and I can remember those days. And then, you look back at that time, and my mom and dad really could afford to send me anywhere. And, they sent me to these specialists, but in the early 80s, I mean, I'm not mad at any of the gastroenterologists that I seen. I don't think my mom ever changed my GI. But, I had those endos. I had those scans that they used back then. And, they said, I have a hiatal hernia, which I do. A hiatal hernia is in the esophagus. Your stomach gets pulled through the weakened area that has become kind of open, and it pulls the stomach up through it and causes a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with that probably when I was 7 or 8, and then I was also diagnosed with IBS and GERD. And I was put on medication to take daily, prescription medication, when I was 7 or 8 years old. And I've always been diagnosed with IBS and GERD. Well, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I have lost, I don't know how many jobs, because I would get sick. I mean, it would just come on me. And, a lot of places you work require at least 2 hours notice. And, if you miss days concurrent, it's considered one episode. And, it wasn't anything that I didn't want to work. I was sick and I couldn't. I would go to work sick. Or whenever I thought I was having the stomach flu, well, my stomach flu wasn't lasting 24 to 48 hours like a normal stomach flu. Some people's stomach flus, it takes them a little bit longer to get over it and get rehydrated. So, you can linger on into 48 hours because you're rehydrating and everything and regaining strength. And mine didn't. Mine would last a week to 2 weeks. And then I would eventually just go to the hospital. And I even had an ER doctor, call my employer and tell them she is not driving 20 minutes to go down there for the charge nurse to check out. If I tell her she cannot go to work, then she can't come to work. And that's all you need to know. And I had actually been diagnosed at that time, but I was not given my diagnosis. But I have had Crohn's my whole life. It's just, it wasn't looked for. And if they had seen it, then they just didn't really pay attention to it or know what it was. So, yeah, she is having tummy trouble. 3 GPs have told her she needs to lose weight, and now she's having a colonoscopy because she thinks she has Crohn's disease. Then I have another one who has a page set up somewhat like GoFundMe, and she wanted me to post that on my Crohn's page. I won't do that, and there is a very good reason behind not posting a page like that, unless it is a death and the family is having a hard time paying, and it is a Crohn's or gastroparesis patient, whatever, I'm not going to post it. And the reason why, and this is the reason why I get back to the other person, everybody here either has a loved one or is the person that is sick. And regardless of how good your insurance is, there is some things that we have to pay out of pocket for. And everybody has to pay something at some point. And it is very expensive on all of us. So, I'm sorry you're having a hardship. I will post it on Twitter for you. No problem. I'm not posting it on here. So, I mean, I don't think that by my not posting it that I'm not being mean. I'm just not posting it to make people feel like they have to give to other people. I have been in other groups, and I'm still in them. I just don't get the newsfeed anymore because newsfeed just got ridiculous. But I was in a group where this person said she had severe Crohn's disease. She was on hospice. She was going to die. She's really bad off. But then, I can't remember if she posted a picture or if somebody actually went to her actual Facebook profile. And in that actual Facebook profile, she's out walking by herself. She's out getting her nails done. When you're on hospice, the doctor has to approve things for you that you can do and cannot do. And, you know, if you're on IV pain medication that is a controlled substance, a narcotic, your nurse isn't just going to run over to your house every few hours to give you that pain medicine. A lot of times they have these little pain pumps that has, 2 or 3 vials in it, and you punch a button and you don't get any more than what you're allowed to have. And so people had been donating, sending money to make sure her kids had birthday, Christmases, all of that, and she was a fraud. So I'm not going to become one of those pages where I do this for one person, I do it for another person, and then we find out that people are helping them that are on my page, and then find out they're a fraud. But YouTube has brought a lot of people to my page, and it's people that genuinely have watched my page, have watched my YouTube videos, and on YouTube, comments are public. There are certain comments that if they seem like spam, if YouTube isn't sure whether or not they should be posted, they go into a review where I review those. But really, on YouTube, you cannot really contact that person except through comments. And some things, people just don't want to talk to you in comments because some things you don't want everybody to know. So it's easier to belong to a page because you can, like me, I have my messaging open. And so even if I can't right away answer them, I have a quick response message up. And it has not made my people go away or anything. If not anything, YouTube has brought more people to my page, and I'm very grateful for that because I can help more people. And I have been collaborating with several different companies and they found me through YouTube and are now on my Facebook page. And that isn't, those companies I'm collaborating with, they are not public. They are through messaging, emails, and so, you know, some of my videos, they get, you know, maybe a couple views, and, you know, maybe a couple hundred, or maybe they get 1,000, and some, I don't even know why, some of them get 7,000, or however many they get. I'm sitting here looking at them like, so why did this one get this many views and this one hardly got anything? This one's more interesting than this one, but okay. So I guess I haven't figured out my knack yet. I guess I haven't figured out really what people want to hear or see or whatever. I know people really liked the electric, the gastric stimulator, where you can see where the first time I had it, I think it was the first time I had it increase, and you can see it zapping me. You see it zapping my stomach, and it doesn't do that anymore. Not at all. Not with any of my increases. I think maybe that was just because it was new, it was hitting it, and but it doesn't do that anymore. But people liked it. It was very short. I think it was like 2 minutes, and it got hit a lot. And so I think I made that one of the videos for new subscribers and everything. And then the other one is a peek into my life, and that one basically takes you from morning to later in the day. It shows that I'm already exhausted when I get up, and my bag has to be changed, and I need to take a shower, and I mean, some of the things that you don't see in that video, I'm just, you know, I'm not showing the exhaustion, and I'd go ahead, I had to change my ileostomy, I went ahead, I think I changed my port again, my Huber needle, and I took a shower, and I showed you everything I had to go through just to do that. And it took me longer to do my ostomy because I was trying not to show too much for everybody to see, and it's always interesting for everybody to see how you change your port. People love that. And changing your ostomy. Sometimes I don't even want to see changing my ostomy or doing my ostomy myself, because I swear to goodness, the thing is erupting like a volcano. It will squirt and hit the wall. Sometimes I have a very big mess. But it's nothing I can help. I can't control it. It is incontinent. But, you know, people never heard of it. They don't know what it is. And people are still learning what it is, what it does to you. And you still got people that are skeptical. You still got people that don't believe what it is, that you have it, that's as bad as it is. Because some people, it's very mild, very, very, almost next to anything on them. And then you got some people that has really good days and really bad days. Then you got some people that it is so bad, they have lived in the hospital, and like my surgeon said, you know, I see your wife more than you do. And that was true. One of the things that I did, and I'm a hard person, being a nurse and all of that does not make me a good patient. I have fired doctors. I have pushed a surgery when they wanted me to start on Entivio. And when they went ahead and did a sigmoidoscopy, and I was so swollen and inflamed. They wanted me to start Entivio, and I said, no, you're going to go in and you're going to see what's going on. At that point, I still had my large intestines. I knew that I had another fistula going from my small to my large, because my small and large intestines were not at all attached. The large intestines was sewn to my abdomen because they were in hopes that maybe at some point in my life that they could reattach it, but it wouldn't matter because I'd made a decision. I was never giving up my ostomy. But at this point, I was like, no, there is too much going on, and you need to do this. Well, another reason behind that, I had a small bowel obstruction. No surprise. I get them often. And so they had to go in anyway. And so, I've had my insides taken out of me, put on the table, I don't know how many times. And each time this happens, it's very hard for me to come back from. So during this time, I lost 8 units of blood, was given blood, didn't have any places. I have a single lumen. They finally put a central line in, and I was able to get blood. Anyway, so they went in. I had colonic fistulas. They found some cancer. My intestines were ate up with Crohn's disease. I mean, the list just went on. And at that point, they just went ahead. They did a total proctocolectomy, and they took out my appendix to rule out if I have any pain on my left side, that it's not my appendix, that it is my Crohn's. Because your Crohn's normally lives in your ileum, in your small intestines. And so now I do feel better without my colon. And my life is hard. And, it's hard for me to do some things. It's hard for me to do a lot of things. And a part of it is restrictions. A part of it is I get dehydrated very, very, very easily. And that's part of the reason why I decided to do on-the-go hydration as compared to whenever I was hooked up to a pole. I was hooked up to a pole for 10 hours. Where I can now be hooked up to my hydration fluids in a bag, and I can go. And so it makes life so much easier. And so, Crohn's is not a good disease, and I would never wish it on anybody. And there's somebody now that I've been watching, and I'm hoping she doesn't have Crohn's disease, because it's just not nice. Well, her husband has Crohn's disease, and he knows, and he himself is trying to go into remission. So she knows what she's getting into. It's like I said, I don't know the extent of your husband's, but this is mine, and everybody's different. and you're going, you know, she's going through hell right now, and I just feel so sorry for her. She has a lot more medical issues than I do, and, you know, there are very, very few people. I'm subscribed to a lot of people, because when people come to me, and I know when they leave a comment, a nice comment, that they are wanting me to look at their page. And then when I look at their page, I see their subscribers. And I'm like, okay, so I know why you came to my page. Okay, so I'll subscribe to you. And there's a few people that I really do follow. And, you know, we've all got some of the very same issues. Some have more medical issues than others. But we don't dismiss what one person has that the other person doesn't. So, you know, I worked in nursing for almost 20 years, and the first time I ever heard about Crohn's disease was in early 2000s. I had a neighbor, never asked her about it. She told me she had Crohn's disease. Then I heard about it working at a psych hospital. Had a patient, she was in there for issues, and she had Crohn's disease. All I heard was it was painful, and that was it. Then I got Crohn's disease. Then I learned about it. And, you know, it just wasn't anything that people knew about. And like I said, it hasn't been until the last few years that it's been on TV. So, with that, I'm going to leave you and say good night. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them, because I don't mind answering them. I really don't. And Crohn's disease is a very hard disease. And for some people it's easy, and for other people it's back and forth. And then you got people like me that have had surgery after surgery, hospitalization after hospitalization, and, you know, trying to get in remission, and, you know, I'm failing, and then I get put with gastroparesis on top of that. And, you know, I've been through a lot, I've seen a lot, and, you know, I can be your, you know, I can sit here and I can cheer you on, I can give you advice, I can, you know, I don't mind. If it's something I don't know, I'll tell you. If it's something I've not experienced, I'll tell you. If I've experienced it and you've not found it on any of my videos, maybe it's because I didn't want to share it at that time in that video, but maybe I'll share it with you in the comment. So, with that, I am going to say good night and see you in the morning. And I really hope this blog is actually recording, because I don't even know if I want to go through it again. So, good night, everyone.